Hey there, glad you're here. Today we're diving into something that's got a lot of folks curious, especially if you're on Social Security or nearing retirement age. President Trump's big, beautiful bill is making headlines, and one of the most talked about pieces of it is the so-called senior bonus. That phrase has been floating around quite a bit. No tax on Social Security, more money in your pocket. It all sounds pretty great. But here's the question that really matters. What does this actually mean for you? Not completely, anyway. In fact, some won't see any change at all, and maybe more importantly, is it really as good as it sounds? Now, here is what most people don't realize. The bill doesn't actually eliminate taxes on Social Security like Trump said during his campaign. What it does include is a new temporary deduction, up to $6,000 per person, and that's what is being labeled as the senior bonus. But, and this is important, not every senior will qualify. So, let's get into it. If you're 65 or older, and you meet certain income requirements, here's how the deduction works. Senate version, $6,000 per person, that's $12,000 if you're married and filing jointly. Say at 62. Or you're on disability benefits, you're not eligible. For example, House version, slightly smaller, at $4,000 per person. Sounds nice on paper, right? Well, here comes the catch. First off, this only applies if you weigh at least 65. So, if you weigh receiving early Social Security, and even if you are 65 or older, the deduction phases out as your income goes up. If you make more than $75,000 as a single filer or $150,000 as a couple, the deduction starts shrinking. But if you're living only on Social Security or a modest pension, probably not much changes. By the time you hit $175,000 single or $250,000 joint, the deduction is gone completely. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. That was the campaign promise. Headlines say one thing. The fine print says another. It just offers a temporary deduction that may reduce how much of your Social Security gets taxed, depending on your income. And since those taxes help fund the Social Security program itself, getting rid of them could actually speed up the trust fund running dry, possibly moving the depletion date from 2033 to 2032. Here's where things get interesting and kind of surprising. Nearly half of all seniors don't pay federal income tax already. Why? Because their incomes are too low. If you were making around $30,000 a year, which is right near the national median for seniors, you were likely already covered by the standard deduction and the existing age-related bump. If made permanent, it would still cost around $250 billion over a decade. It kicks in starting in 2025, and it's set to expire by 2028 or 2029, depending on which version of the bill makes it through. Under Senate rules, we're talking about the Byrd rule here. They can't directly mess with Social Security. Not a massive windfall, but maybe a few $100 a year. And hey, in retirement, every bit helps. So instead, they created a deduction, a workaround. This bill doesn't increase your benefits, fix cost of living adjustments, or shore up the trust fund. It's a patch, not a long-term plan. So, adding this new deduction, it might sound generous, but if you already owe zero, it doesn't really do anything for you. That means this so-called bonus mostly helps middle-income and upper-middle-income seniors, folks who still work part-time or draw from retirement accounts, but don't earn enough to phase out of the deduction entirely. So, while the bill may help some people, for many others, it's not actually changing much. So if you're a married couple making $100,000, you might see a solid benefit. And if you're thinking, wait, didn't Trump say he'd eliminate taxes on Social Security entirely? And subscribe so you don't miss future updates. It helps more than you know. You're not wrong. He did. But the reality The bill doesn't repeal those taxes. So, yeah, the promise and the policy don't fully match. Wouldn't it be simpler to just eliminate Social Security taxes altogether? Sure, but here's the issue. That would cost a lot. The Pan-Wharton budget model estimates that a full repeal would reduce government revenue by $1.5 trillion over 10 years. Even just this temporary deduction. So, why didn't lawmakers just change how Social Security is taxed? Because they can't, at least not easily. They claim 88% of seniors will pay no tax on their Social Security benefits under the bill. The White House says this is a win. That sounds great, but remember, a large percentage of those seniors already weren't paying anything. And remember, this deduction isn't permanent. If you're 65 or older and your income falls between $40,000 and $100,000, this bill might put a little more money back in your pocket. But if you're on a fixed income, early retirement, or disability, you likely won't see a change. And big picture. So, here's my question to you. Do you think seniors should pay any taxes at all on their Social Security benefits? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. And if this helped clear things up for you, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.